serious about change, I suggest you stay out of the way and give Cyril Uruwei Garcia. Make we give her this chance.
We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back. Uruwei na fire, he's a proven leader. Uruwei na fire, a fearless advocate. Uruwei na fire, son of soil from Krieger. Uruwei na fire, ready to fight for his people. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back. Uruwei da fi we, set an example for all the youths. Uruwei da fi we, beginning of golden age. Uruwei da fi we, true representative for all of us. Uruwei da fi we, the Krieger who quick and Sarah we. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back.
And for anyone who say they don't know the man, you know, originally Rick Paleka. Remember Auntie Lily Paleka? That's Auntie Lily's son. On election day, I will not go to the polls and betray my conscience. Election day, make sure you follow your conscience. Choose change now. The People's Campaign. And if you're not serious about change, I suggest you stay out of the way and give Cyril Uruwei Garcia. Make we give her this chance.
We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back. Uruwei na fire, he's a proven leader. Uruwei na fire, a fearless advocate. Uruwei na fire, son of soil from Krieger. Uruwei na fire, ready to fight for his people. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back. Uruwei da fi we, set an example for all the youths. Uruwei da fi we, beginning of golden age. Uruwei da fi we, true representative for all of us. Uruwei da fi we, the Krieger who quick and Sarah we. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he look on the play. We need our Krieger back.
And for anyone who say they don't know the man, you know, originally Rick Paleka. Remember Auntie Lily Paleka? That's Auntie Lily's son. On election day, I will not go to the polls and betray my conscience. Election day, make sure you follow your conscience. Choose change now.
Good evening, each and everyone, to all of you tuned in tonight. Good evening to those of you here in the country, in Belize. Griga, greetings to each and every one of you, Belize City, Orange Walk, Corozal. Those of you in the diaspora, good evening to all of you. We're going to have enjoy on a Sunday meal, the usual Belizean tradition. This evening should be short. There's a list of things I want to talk about, including my experience on Friday at the protest in Belize, the anti-corruption protest in Belize. I want to comment on that for a bit. I will also talk about the state of this governance in Belize. The People's United Party, the ministers, the area representatives. I want to talk about building awareness, talking more about these issues so that we could make wise decisions when we go to the polls. So we could make an informed decision when we go to the polls. I want to say good evening once again to each and every one of you that just tuned in. Some of you might have seen the video I shared on my Obafo.bz page. Let me know your take. If you watched it and you haven't really stated your position, let me know your take. All right, let me know what you think about it. I will also be talking about accountability and transparency. I'm definitely going to be talking about the question and the pressure some individuals who are requesting for me to apologize to Mayor Mariano. I will go into some details on that as well. This evening, my intention is really to be fair. My intention is to share information. My intention is to appeal to each and every one of you to be honest with yourselves, that as you listen, and if you agree, then let's try to make effort to hold each other accountable and do the right thing, do what is right. Every year, every 3 years for municipal election, we have the opportunity to vote in a new mayor, to vote in new councillors for municipal election. And every 5 years, we have that privilege again to vote in our area representatives. Now, I want to categorically say, as I start from the first topic moving down, the first topic I want to touch on, one of the first topics, and before I really delve into this, I have my brother Philip Willoughby, who might join me this evening as an impromptu, just to give us some insights on the flooding. He has worked with NEMO. He has much experience, a lot of experience under his belt, and he will be able to give us some insight as to what's happening around the country when it comes to flooding, when it comes to what we should do, how we should prepare, what we should look out for, what the government should be doing at this point if they're not doing it. So hopefully he'll be able to join me this evening to weigh in on that. Okay, he said he's in. All right, my brother. I sent you a link. I can tell that you're hearing me. I'm waiting for you to join. So take your time. I will be notified as soon as you join in. So yeah, so Philip and I will chop it up. We'll kind of go over what's happening here in Belize, concerning the flooding that's happening in the different areas, what we need to look out for, how we need to better prepare ourselves to deal with anything that might come after, all right, and how we could try to mitigate, try to avoid unnecessary harm or avoid a hazardous situation. So while I'm waiting for the brother, the video that I released earlier yesterday, I'll take my time on this and I will pause as soon as Philip Willoughby comes on because it's important to address this issue with the flooding. But let me go into some details as to what I was talking about regarding the protest on Friday. We we need to pay attention first and foremost to what's happening in our country, how our taxpayers' dollars are being spent. We must be in tune. I said in this video, some of you, when you see these corrupt acts on TV, it's just like another person or group of people from a remote, faraway land who we have no access to, who we can't touch. All these ministers, the Prime Minister of Belize, Janet Briceño, they all seem to be untouchable. You cannot touch them. They seem untouchable. An individual said to me, Uruwei, you start seem like you just have a vendetta against the PUP. Let me make this clear. I will fight with anyone who is serious about fighting against corruption. I will fight with anyone right now. Right now. Most of these members, most of these people in parliament, they are crooked. They are stealing. And they're not only the thief, they're the thief big. Look at all the allegations against Oscar Mira and his family. Listen, we talk about millions of dollars. The last time I checked, I made a talk about over $9 million before I turn and read another page that it done there at $13 million. You know what is $13 million? Some of you have not even counted $1,000 in our life. Some of you probably need count $1,000 in our life. As small a number as that is for many of you as well. Some of you don't know what it's like to count $10,000, $100,000. Imagine $1 million. And this is not $1 million. This right now it is over $13 million. And that just coming out of one ministry. One ministry. Imagine if they added all the rest of them. So, what do we do? A protest was organized, a rally against corruption was organized. Myself and a sprinkle other people that are not members of the United Democratic Party or members of the People's United Party attended as well. Not that many, as most of you might have noticed in the videos and on the news. Now, I shared my sentiments on Philip Willoughby. Let me know. I will be notified once you're in the waiting room. I haven't seen you just yet. So, while I wait, let me continue. And to all of you, let me know where you're signing in from. I want to acknowledge you. Today is Sunday. I will try make this as short as possible. At the same time, if you guys want to participate, if you have a comment that you want to share that you believe I should inform the rest of us of, then please feel free to comment. Sherette, Jacqueline, I believe this is let me expand this here. Janice say he don't know about the Mira family, what they do. Listen, they ask, you know, I don't want to, one thing I will not do is come across like a heavy PUP hitter trying to just throw blows at the PUP or throw blows at the UDP. That's not what I'm about. However, I want to say this. In most of the interviews, Johnny Briseño, when they ask him questions, he doesn't know. He always not know. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And if he doesn't know, he sends you to someone else. And then that someone else sends you to somebody else. So they keep playing this game with the people. This one no got the answer. This one not sure. You have to check that one there. Oh, you might have to ask the CEO. Then the CEO might have to send it to the Auditor General. I'm just kind of calling out these names out here, but nobody could want to be held accountable. We can't hold nobody accountable. So these are just some of the corruption, the Mira scandal, this thing with all these allegations about his family racking up, you know, taking almost over $13,000 million of taxpayers' money. This is a serious crime. I want any common person for Dangriga. I will use Dangriga because I have a Griga and I live that Griga. I want anyone a owner, thief, $50,000 from the government. It didn't have to be $50,000. Trust me, uno going to jail. Uno name what they out there. Uno career, that will be it for your career. But these ministers and their friends and their families, they could thief as much as they want. They could commit the most heinous crimes and still not go to jail. I have brothers here in Dangriga. They just want the opportunity to clear their names. Maybe they get in a situation with the law. and they have a record at the police station. So because of a record, they can't do XYZ. All these brothers want that just they have a new clean slate. Just help me get this off of my record because I try to do this and I can't. But we have ministers where they thief millions of dollars. But it's okay because I don't know about the poor. They don't want your own. They're not a black poor Creole. They're not a black poor Hispanic person. They're not a black poor Garifuna person. And we accept all of this. Hey, listen to me. I'm going to try explain to Nina the video, right? You see how we, in our state of poverty, yada griga, throughout the country, I believe. Poverty, the yada dangriga. People not eat good. I just realized that they have people who don't have refrigerator. They have people who don't have a fridge in their house. The state of our economy, the state of our town, the healthcare system, the quality of care that you get at Southern Regional Hospital, the resources pumped into Southern Regional Hospital is dependent on how they manage taxpayers' money. How much we get is dependent on how they manage taxpayers' money. Right now, they are stealing millions and millions of dollars out of the public purse. And we keep playing this game with each other. You will have PUP who know, they know what's happening, they see what's happening, but yet they insist, find some kind of reason, some other reason to say. Take, for example, before we go deeper into the UDP rally, take, for example, wanted by the police department. See what they did to Budna. I'm gonna get to this in just a bit. Let me just take a look at some of your comment. Miss Joyce Catano, greetings, my beloved sister. Clint Jacobs. Very good, very good. What is the solution? We are talking about that right now, Clint Jacobs. I appreciate you for your comment, my brother. Too much talking. We all know what the problem. We need action now. I'm totally with you. And thank you for getting to the point. I am totally with you. Abner, greetings, greetings, Abner. Blessed greetings. So, now, Friday's protest was about speaking against corruption. There are several things I want to say. I'm talking about a lot of the corrupt activities that's happening by these ministers, and why a protest was necessary, why a protest is necessary, why the Belizean people, why we must come together and protest against corruption. What I was about to say before I went to the comments, we have to understand that whenever there is theft, whenever there is corruption, whenever these people are raping taxpayers, the public's purse, that the less money for health care, that the less money for security, to secure us in this community, that the less money for drainage, that the less money for park, that the less money, but the more money out of your pocket, the more money out of your pocket to feed your children, to send them to school. So what do? I went to that protest because I really hope that everybody may come out and I may say more shirts, rather more different other color shirts than red. Or I may like for say a whole lot more color shirts than red. Nothing against the UDP for organizing a protest. Nothing against the UDP. I think that was a wise move. But we need to call it what it is. If it's a UDP protest, let it be a UDP protest. Then again, maybe some other group of individuals or some individuals might have to be the ones to organize a protest, because if the UDP organize it, it highly likely turn out to be a UDP protest. When I was there, my observations, to me, there are so many people involved in politics. I think Belizean people, they hear some of the same voices over and over. They see some of the same faces over and over. And the same voices that we hear on the radio and on the TV. And when we hear these voices on stage, not that they're not speaking truth, not that they're not talking of whatever they're saying is not of substance, but because people don't use to the same names and the same faces and the same energy that is put into this political culture, people not take it serious. People don't take it serious. I want to say to the honorable leader of the opposition, I see you working hard. I see you're working. You're putting in the work. But I believe you have so many elements around you that could be creating part of the problem. You have some elements around you that could be creating part of the problem. And not only that, now, when it comes to calling out the leader, the honorable leader of the opposition, I know they have other individuals in the political domain who try bring up old stories that the party leader was engaged in, blah, blah, blah. If we continue on this path, I am not saying not to hold the Honorable Tracy Panton accountable if she has done any wrong. But if we are wasting our energies, if we are pumping energies into fighting the same engine that is trying to fight or stamp out corruption, that is counterproductive. If we don't have Tracy as leader, as the one who could be the next prime minister, who? Tell me who. I am not saying this in defense of the Honorable Tracy. I am saying this to find out who. Who else do we have? If it's not Tracy and we need to get Bresenio out of there, who's going to replace Bresenio? The reason for my question is this. Why are we fighting against the opposition? If it makes sense, help me make it make sense. If it makes sense, I'm with it. If we have somebody more qualified, more capable than the honorable party leader, then show me that person there and make we rally behind that person, and hopefully that person could become the next prime minister. But if we don't have someone to replace the honorable Tracy Tiga, then we need to pull in all our energies and put our weight behind her and help stamp out Johnny Briseño, get him out of there. Now, back to the protest before I go into my next topic. Legislate unkak. I am telling you, bro. I am telling you, we have to. We have to. So, I'm saying to all the UDP out there, the problem is now with the UDP, uno still seem fragmented. And that's a problem. Uno still seem fragmented. I wish, like I mentioned in my last video, that if we are going to protest, as a country, as a nation, then come on. Then we need to step out. All of us. You should not be able to tell whether or not that our PUP rally, that our UDP rally, you will know. Because we are see green, we are see yellow, we are see red and white, we are see blue and white. I wish the day would come. Even the PUP, those of you, members of the PUP, just come out. What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? I understand for the public workers, public officers, we don't have to play it safe. We don't have to play it safe while the PUP still run things till either 2030. I don't know, maybe they carry till 2027, 2035. So I wish BNTU was out there. What I saw at the UDP rally, to me, and I hope that those in the in leadership in the within the UDP, like at least listen with the intention to become better. I observed some individuals who, like I mentioned, the moment you see that type of behavior and what is said and how it's like uno can't wait to make UDP get in a power again. When I listened to some of the speeches, it was a typical UDP. It just banal. It's not, come across, some of them, a lot of them not come across like we are ready to stamp out corruption. We are ready to stand against corruption, not only when the PUP is in power, but when UDP is in power too. To me, it's still this big happy family of UDP trying to get in and gain power. Fine, that's fine, but show me sincerely that you are really just interested in taking out Johnny Briseño and all the other corrupt era representative ministers and bring what better Belize. I don't want to just say what stronger UDP. I don't want to just say what another UDP government where we take over, kick out the PUP out of office now, and uno have a way and find a way to milk the system as well. I want to see something really different coming out of the UDP. I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. I want to see something different coming out of the United Democratic Party. And I'm not seeing it at this point. I see the passion. I see the fight. I could see the leader, the honorable leader of the opposition fighting. And I know it's not easy for her. I know it's not easy. But there's just this image right now. It's not refreshing, not yet. Party leader, I honestly, sincerely think on need a refreshing look. On need not only a refreshing look, but one new sound, one new voice. Like we listen, and I know people are listening, and it's the same old energy that pronounce or that describes United Democratic Party. Imagine this. Imagine this. I am at a rally. That rally on Friday. I am at this rally. I made up my mind. I said I will go to this rally as an independent thinker. Now, not catch no feelings. But when I had a march with Uno, just pick sense out of nonsense, right? I'm not trying to break up your party and your culture, your party culture. Imagine when you are in this parade, in this march, and you have UDP, you have independent candidates, you have PSU, and then every so often throughout the parade, you are like UDP. You really expect me to say all the way, to change my position and say all the way? That might seem simple in and of itself, but that's the part of the psychology where we have to break. If we want this to be a Belizean thing, anti-corruption, Belizeans fighting against corruption, we can't, I mean, we have to find the balance. If you're having a UDP event, then fine. Let it be a UDP event and Onokohala all the UDP are on want. And that will be respected. It should be respected. But if you're suggesting Belize come together and you're representing anyone, then I think we'll have to tone down the party politics a bit and find a different angle. I have no regrets. I am glad that I went. I am glad that I attended. No regrets whatsoever. I just think that somehow, the day, because already this is it, live or die, UDP. And you believe that someday, sometime soon, hopefully 2030, that UDP will hold over government, and you know that you will be rewarded. You know that you will be compensated. That's what I see in some of you. That's not all. That's not all. But it was obvious, and that I was scary about it. It was obvious. I am willing to fight behind anybody, anyone who's serious about stamping out corruption. Because quite honestly, enough is enough. But uno still dey play politics. Uno still dey play politics. Still dey play party politics. When our youths are dying on the streets, when infrastructure is just poor. Let's talk about Dangriga for a bit. Philip Willoughby, I guess another time. I'm still available. Check that link. If you can sign on, let me know. Folks, friends, family, there is an organization in the Illinois area, UBNI. Every year,
Now,
they
while we had
host a
representation
gala. This
from the
is
Bus Owners Association and from the government, we
one of
know
those
that in both
prestigious
cases, subsidies
galas.
are paid
I
for
have
by
attended
taxpayers.
one of these
Who was in
events
the meeting
before
representing
myself.
taxpayers, because
And
ultimately
I
they're
want to
raising the fares
encourage
and the subsidy
each and every
taxpayers
one
will
of
pay.
you to
Well, I mean,
support
ultimately we are all Belizean
support
taxpayers
this
here.
event, support this
Myself as
initiative.
minister, you know, working in the government.
It's
The government
the
is for the
15th
people,
anniversary
and that means
scholarship
that
gala.
we have always been
UBNI's 15th scholarship gala anniversary, 15th anniversary. So the information, I will occasionally put it on the screen so you guys could stay abreast. If you could join, if you could attend the event. All right. It's you will be contributing to a very good cause. You will be contributing to assisting other Belizeans with scholarship who need to further their studies. So I want to applaud this organization, UBNI. They're having their 15th anniversary scholarship gala. I am encouraging those of you in the Illinois area to step out, have a good time, have some clean fun, meet, greet other Belizeans, network with other Belizeans, like-minded Belizeans, people who are doing positive things in our community. So I'm just saying, we need to, if the UDP will survive, if the UDP will survive, if the UDP will become stronger, they will need to rebrand. They will need to put out new voices out there. They will need to put out new faces out there. People that others respect, people that others trust, people that others know, not the unite for just for politics. And they're not the same family over and over again. Now they're like the same family in a circle. If you watch the PUP and the UDP, that the same old family, family ties, people. And one thing I want to say, right? Since we talk about politics and talk about the UDP rally yesterday, make I zoom into Dangriga a bit. Talking about Dangriga. Now, politics here in Dangriga, I just the land. I don't know it all. There's a whole lot I don't know. There's a whole lot I don't know. But when it comes to politics here in Dangriga, we tend to fix ourselves with one political party. We play games with each other. We complain all through the year. We complain about each other, but still, we are choose party over people. When it comes to politics here in Dangriga, if you're our UDP, you're our UDP. You're a PUP, you're a PUP. This is the type of mentality where they keep with them. There is a culture. It's amazing that people wait for election time to live a better life. People they wait for election time to live a better life. When election time comes, people get happy. When election time comes, people get happy. When election time comes, people get happy because they will come up. You know the amount of trickery take place during election time. The amount of hustling take place during election time. But I want to take a quick break after talking about election, and I want to bring my brother Philip Willoughby online. We want to talk about the flooding situation that's happening in our beloved nation. This is something we need to be aware of. We need to be prepared. We need to know what to do and how to do. In the waiting room, I have Philip Willoughby. He's going to give us some insight into what's happening in our beloved country, the flooding. My brother, you're hearing me. I don't have you live just yet. I am about to put your visual on the screen, but I have to let you know a whole lot more about me when it comes to the flooding. I still have more research and due diligence to do. So I will depend on your knowledge as to what you are privy to. Let me make some adjustments here and then I will put this on the live. Give me some audio. Let me know if I could say something. Let me know I could hear you. Good, good, good. Excellent. So greetings, my brother. Greetings once again to Dangriga Unmuted, Obafo TV. This time it is Uruwei Unmuted. We're experiencing flooding in our beloved Jewel. Many areas are affected. We have Belmopan affected. We have areas right here in the Sarawi, Hope Creek area affected as well. I am still trying to get accurate information, but just fill us in as to what you see, what you know, and what we should look out for, and how we could better prepare ourselves for this type of for this season.
Good evening. Thank you for having me on. What I will try to do to the best of my ability is to outline to you the structure that governs NEMO and how the committees should be activated, when and where and by whom, so it can bring clarity to the weather that we have experienced over the past 24 hours and that we are still facing. I believe it was a tropical system, or, and I stand corrected, it could have been a wide area of low pressure that created or brought the rains, and those rains caused severe flooding in the city of Belmopan, surrounding areas, including Cotton Tree Village and the other village heading westward, a few villages heading through the Hummingbird Highway, and I see some flooding down south in the district of Toledo. Regrettable, unfortunate, my heart goes out to all those affected, and I hope that the response the prompt response will bring relief to those affected through the humanitarian efforts by all involved. So here goes how the system should work. I didn't hear, and I stand corrected, I don't know if you heard any reports coming out of the Met Office. While it is good for us to listen to the international weather forecasters sharing the weather systems and patterns that may affect the country of Belize, by and large, we should be listening to our local Met Office. Again, I didn't hear, and I don't know if you did, hear the constant alerts of this system as it would have affected us from the meteorological office here locally to Belize or in Belize. So there is where we start. I believe, secondly, outside of briefing the nation about the weather, I believe the Met Office should have convened a virtual meeting or in-person meeting to brief the Cabinet Secretary and the Prime Minister of Belize. Including in that meeting also could have been the Minister for NEMO and his CEO and the National Emergency Coordinator. When have concluded, I believe another alert should have gone out to address the nation. The Met Office have briefed the Prime Minister, and then all advisory or subsequent advisories should have followed and should have been broadcasted or transmitted by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. This is the ministry that should have been keeping the nation abreast in relation to the rains and the flooding. Simultaneously with that, where the impact areas would have been identified. Remember, now we don't know where the system would have landed and which district or villages it would have affected. But I only became aware of it via Facebook social media when the citizenry from the respective municipality or villages start posting the flood. That's how I became aware. So I'm saying, in the case of Belmopan, Dangriga, and surrounding villages, NEMO should have had a partial activation. And subsequent to that partial activation, the villages and city, the municipalities, Belmopan City, Dangriga Town, Toledo Town, Punta Gorda Town, incident command center should have been activated as well. And one of the first things that should have been done is that the housing and shelter committee should have been activated. Shelters should have been opened, and simultaneously, this information should have been communicated through all media houses and social media outlets to notify the public because of the flooding. These are the named shelters that are open to provide housing and shelter for you. Secondly, from within the partial activation of the National Emergency Management Organization headquarters here in Belmopan, they should have activated the national committees so that they could have communicated to the municipal and district level incident command centers so that they would have been able to provide the resources needed, suffice to say, to support the municipality and the village at the village level. With that said, and without causing confusion, once the rains would have eased up and the Met Office would have stated the weather would have subsided significantly or the rains would have eased up, I personally would have had the Ministry of Agriculture or the Ministry of Information Technology to get the drones up in the air so that they could have had a pictorial view or an aerial view of what is happening from above. Once that would have been concluded, I would have suggested that we bring in the relevant chairperson and support staff from these committees that I will name. So immediately after, you would have needed to conduct and execute a rapid needs analysis. This is the first level of conducting and executing damage assessments. So you would have had the personnel from human services go out in the communities to check each and every household that would have been affected by the flooding. Similarly, those personnel would have checked the shelters to see how many people are in those shelters that have been opened and occupied by the affected weather system and satisfy the needs of those individuals in the shelter. Thereafter, I would have suggested to call in the BDF light engineering element along with Ministry of Works personnel from the village who knows the village, because you just can't go and willy-nilly go into a village and think you'll do assessment and you don't know or you are not familiar with the terrain, for example, or the knowledge of where the people are within the community. Likewise for Belmopan, and they would have had support from the Belmopan City Council as well. Thereafter, with the personnel from the BDF and the Ministry of Work, because the BDF have and has the capability and the capacity with the vehicles they have to traverse the affected communities. And this would have been coordinated with other supporting agencies like Red Cross and others, because you don't want to be duplicating the efforts and wasting resources. So you have the Housing and Shelter Committee, Human Resource, Relief and Supplies from the Ministry of Human Development, Social Transformation. You would have had the Ministry of Works and the BDF light engineer element checking the infrastructure.
Now, Philip, I didn't get a chance to. Last time you were on my show, I did a basic introduction as to who you are. I just want to put things into context. I should have done this in the beginning, but just inform the people the experience that you have had with this, working with Nemo, and just so we could keep on so they know exactly why you're going through all these details.
Breaking it down, correct. I was the National Operation Manager at within the Ministry of National Emergency Management. I served also as the Belize City National Emergency Management Coordinator and the Belize City Council counselor responsible for city emergency management. And this comes with at least 15 years of experience and training.
Now,
So,
where we're at, sorry, go ahead.
so you would need to check the infrastructure, and also the Ministry of Health to check the water quality, to check to see that the septic tanks or the means and the ways by which waste is disposed of in these communities, the village, and the surrounding communities around Belmopan City and the communities in the district of Toledo. How do they dispose of waste? Because you wouldn't want anybody to become ill or sick. Water quality is of the utmost importance. It has to be safe, it has to be clean, and it can't be contaminated. Also, the public utility and access committees to ensure that those lampposts haven't been undermined by the flooding and the torrential rains that we experience. Those have to be safe. And it has to be safe for the reason that you would have a lot of government resources traversing within these communities, trying to complete the rapid needs analysis as quickly as possible so the government can quantify the damages. And if needs be, the government would have to call a state of emergency so that they can access funds to provide relief to the affected areas that would have been designated after the rapid needs analysis.
So, in other words, are they at this point supposed to call this a state of emergency?
I don't know if they have conducted the rapid needs analysis as yet to know and to learn or to have a bird's eye view or a snapshot of what the damages are at this time. I just saw, I shared the two pictures of a village in the district of Toledo where houses are still underwater. So it is up to the chairperson for the damage assessments and need analysis to brief the ministry. The ministry briefs the CABSEC and the Prime Minister, and based on that advice, then the Prime Minister will decide whether or not he will invoke a state of emergency in these areas that would have been designated after the assessment would have concluded. For the villages that have livestock again and fruits, vegetables, the Ministry of Agriculture would have to go in as well to do a damage assessment. Unfortunately, there's a lot of infrastructure work being done on the Philip Goals, on the George Price Highway. And I pray and hope that all that investment will not be a loss because it's taxpayers' dollars, but I see where culverts were affected, and I hope a thorough and proper inspection would be conducted to ensure that it is safe to continue with the roadworks that is ongoing. So
what what would you say to those affected at the moment? How can they, what are some things that they can do to ensure safety for the time being if they're, you know, experiencing any type of hardship or hazardous situation?
Okay, so by this time, like I said, a partial activation within the Ministry of NEMO, there should be telephone lines available to communicate directly with them, or they can communicate with the district emergency coordinator. Or if not, then they can just call the radio station. But that is the channel of communication that should be available to the citizenry, especially those who are affected at this time. There's a district coordinator for each district. Get in contact direct with the coordinator,
Would
or
the
directly
district
to the ministry.
coordinator for Dangriga be separate from Stan Creek West, or it's just for one? How does that work? Do you know?
No. I believe there's a regional coordinator. There's one for Dangrigatong, and there might be one for the rural. But in
Do you
any
know who the
event,
regional coordinator for Dangriga is?
unfortunately, no, sir, I don't.
Well, for those
Unfortunately, I
of you
regret.
tuned in, that's something on could jot down. This is very important, folks. Let's look out for each other. Let's support each other. Tune in. For those of you who know that you have other relatives and friends who might not be tuned in, please pay attention, and you might learn something today, something that you could pass on to them, just so we could be safer during this hard time. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, and that would be the best way to proceed going forward. I hope, look, we don't play politics in times of disaster.
Yeah.
So I hope and I pray that the government's response is quickly, so that they can render all the requisite services to those who the system have affected to this point. They have to act swiftly and don't discriminate against anyone who would need the help or the assistance at this time. It can't be reactionary. The last time I was on your show, brother, I mentioned that for Belize City, there's a routine management maintenance system that has to be in place. I would advise the Dangriga Town Council, I would advise the Belmopan City Council, the Punta Gorda Town Council, try to implement a routine management maintenance system rather than you act in accordance with your own emotion or the city's or town's emotion, where the needs of the infrastructure needs to be given the appropriate attention. Secondly, there are a lot of tributaries, canals, huge drains, right, that run through our towns, our villages, and our city. I believe the Ministry of Works, along with the municipal local government, they should consider elevating the banks of these waterways just to try and help to mitigate where excessive or high volume of water may inundate the banks of these rivers, tributaries, or canals, to give you an added layer of protection to protect the communities that see all of this flooding,
Mm-hmm.
to at
Yeah.
least try and contain the water and have it stick to its outlets and passage. And that will allow you to buy some time. Again, proper city planning, proper town planning, proper village planning is key and important. And I hope that we can stay positive and jot down where we feel they're slacked up, chalk it up to experience so that we can try to prevent where we see the floodings could have been prevented. We need,
Yeah. What's your best bet? And if it's an accurate bullseye that you have, what is the reason for all these flooding? I mean, we used to this, I believe, that hurricane season, June to November.
yeah,
But is there something that we could have done to prevent some of this?
well, again, I don't want anybody to run off with the idea that anybody should be playing politics in time of a disaster, but we can always do better with bigger, wider, deeper drains. It's not a waste of money. It's not a waste on investment. When you clear land and you fill land, you are replacing a natural water catchment. And when the land is flat, water will find its way to the lowest point, and then it will come back and flood the entire area. So we need levees. Make we get real with what is happening. We need somewhere where we can try our best to contain, build infrastructure that can try to contain large volumes of water. We can't just be clearing and cleaning the forests or lands for development. It has to be built on a foundation and a principle of sustainable development. And the
So
environment is one of the key foundation and premise upon which development should be taking place. It's
am I
just not
unders
to
am
say,
I unders am I understanding correctly that you're saying that part of clearing the land or clearing the land is part of what contributed to this type of quote
to,
unquote disaster?
to my mind, it adds stress to the situation. It adds stress. It
So like
adds
the
stress.
lagging.
Right. So what I'm saying, like for some of the areas that I am familiar with within Belmopan City, I would have, with the equipment and the resources of the government, I would have dug what I would consider as a water tributary. I would have dug that out. Like maybe you would go anywhere from 10 to 12 foot deep, um, 10 to 12 foot wide, so that when the rains do come, it can handle the volume of water. And you channel the water where you need it to lead for it to go. And this is what happened in the Maya Mopan and some of the other areas. You will get rain, it will come down from the mountain, but you need to direct and steer the water where you want it to go. And it should go into a levee, water catchment. And if you want to build these huge tributaries, then you direct the water back to the river or direct it as far out from the city. And we have to respect the way the planners want us to mitigate. It can't be that we just want to clear everything and just fill land and start build. We can't do that anymore. We can't. That's the wrong approach.
Well, I really and truly hope, like you said, we don't want to take this as something political. This is not the time for that. At the same time, we have to address the things, we have to say the things that are not being said for us to be better, so we could avoid these problems. This is indeed not the time to be playing politics, but we want to make sure that things are getting done, that people are safe, or that if they are experiencing any hardship in any area at the moment,
Correct.
that help is on the way or the government is doing its due diligence. Any last words for our audience? Anything regarding this weather situation that we should know, my brother?
Okay, so let's look at this as lesson number one. The hurricane season is very young. We are only, a month and a half, a month and a quarter in, and we have to reach, well, there's no really set time to say it's June to November. I mean, weather patterns, weather system can behave erratic, but
Right.
especially during this named hurricane season, we have to remain vigilant. All the respective organization within NEMO, we have to ensure that they play their role and do their part in getting out the information. The information is one of the most important and key element to keep the citizenry aware of what is happening. You have to grab the citizenry attention so that they can be reminded. And this comes with disaster. We take things for granted, it seems still. This is 2026, but we need to use every possible means to notify and educate the public, the country, the nation, where these weather systems are concerned, not only hurricanes. As you can see, this wasn't a hurricane. So we have to remain vigilant, focused, and tuned in. And the government and other agencies that fall within and under the NEMA umbrella, they have to ensure that they step up and do the work as well. And we just can't leave it and take it for granted that people aren't in charge and they have the onus, the responsibility to be on the ground. This is not about just have the government job, the vehicle, the allowances, because right now people are hurt, people are suffer, and you have the resources, you have the mandate to reach out and serve the country. So the response has to be top tier. No excuses. No excuses. If people out there suffering, find them. And if the people are suffering, call the National Emergency Management Organization hotline or the National Emergency Coordinator and report the situation. Village chairman, municipal governments, you know you have grave responsibility. You signed up for these responsibilities. So it's incumbent on you and all those supporting staff to get the job done. Respond and respond in time, because time is a very, very most important factor that you're up against. So
My brother,
that's
I
my
want to,
advice.
very good. Thanks always, man. Thank you for always making yourself available to share your insights with us. You have the experience under your belt. And I'm grateful that you allowed yourself to just be a call away, a text away, in case we have anything we need to verify.
Sure.
I will be calling on you again. I hope you don't mind. I hope that this subside. I hope that this don't get worse. Folks, friends, families out there, please keep an eye and ears open. Look out for each other. Before you leave, is there anything about this video I should have the people hear? I muted the sound. This one in PG. I know you sent me this one.
Okay.
I'm asking, is there any, I muted it because you were talking, but is there any audio that you think people should be aware of in this video? I haven't listened to it.
Man, look, my heart goes out to those people, and I hope they evacuate. They need to evacuate because, again, you have animals, rodents, reptiles who themselves will be seeking higher grounds. They will be seeking safety.
Yeah, this is a disaster, man. Let's keep our eyes and ears open, folks. We gotta look out for each other. This could take a turn for the best, for better or for worse.
That's true. That's true.
Well, my brother, thanks again, and I'll be in touch, man. Just stay connected.
Okay, sir. Have a good evening. Blessed Sunday, everybody. I'm always here to try and lend whatever knowledge or advice I can and keep it professional.
That I'm certain of. Thanks again, my brother. We'll be in touch.
Sorry, man.
Respect. Yes, friends and family, wanna keep in tune with what's happening. I understand that we have Sarawee and Hope Creek where they start experiencing some flooding as well. Before I move into my next topic and close up for tonight, I want to remind those of you in the Illinois area, take a break, support UBNI Grand Prize, UBNI 15th Anniversary Scholarship Gala, August 8th. Dress nice, go wine, dine, and contribute to other students getting scholarship to further their education. So hats off for UBNI for this initiative. And for those of you in the area, try to make it support the cause. Now, back to the topic at hand so I could close off and enjoy my rest of my Sunday evening. I talked about the UDP protest rally. I shared my sentiment on that. Now I want to go straight into this whole noise about, let's make something clear here. When it comes to my brother Robert Mariano, if I should ever see the brother on the street, I will shake his hand. I will embrace him. Because Robert Mariano, as a person, as a private individual, that's who he is. But there is also the mayor of Dangriga Town. Now, I have a big problem with the mayor of Dangriga Town, the way he has been behaving lately. And I am entitled to that because I am part of this town. I contribute to this town. I inform this town. People depend, look forward to the information, the content that I put out. Because as best as possible, I try to be unbiased. Some are messaging me saying that I need to apologize to Mayor Robert Mariano. I want to, Miss Joyce Cayetano shared her views, her sentiments not too long ago. And part of what she said, I had to share it. She said, let's flip the script. What if the mayor of Dangriga was a woman, and there was a man groping behind this woman. Not only the mayor, this woman is not only the mayor, but she is also a married woman. How would her husband feel? This is what I am reading. What would the public say? What would the public think if it was a woman bending over the mayor of Dangriga, female woman mayor, behaving the way how Brother Mariano was behaving? And somehow, you know what, I apologize because I call that out. But here's what's happening. This situation is just the beginning, not because I want problems. Not because I want problems, but because we need to hold the people responsible, accountable, the people in a leadership. And here is my, I would say request, but request is too kind. I am saying to NGC, I am demanding from NGC, the National Garifuna Council. I am not done yet. I want to know the people, NGC, the executive branch, the executive members. I want to know what they think about Mayor Robert Mariano's behavior. I would like to know what NGC, the president of NGC, I am calling on the president of NGC, the local president, Ms. Rosita Alvarez, and the national president, Mr. Norberto. Do you approve of this behavior? NGC, Ifashna Efunemi, do you approve of this behavior? Alex Norberto, do you approve of this behavior? Do you approve? Maurice Herrera, do you approve of, as a matter of fact, I don't even have to ask Maurice Herrera if he approve of this behavior because I know where the brother stands. He has made it publicly clear. He has made it clear publicly where he stands. He has absolutely no problem with this type of behavior coming from the man who holds the highest office in Dangriga. He has no problem with this. None whatsoever. So I want to ask all the executive members of the National Garifuna Council, NGC, you claim to be, or you are looked upon as the organization who are the defenders of Garifuna people, who are the protectors of our culture. Do you have anything against? Do you have anything against this type of behavior? The mayor, the man who holds the highest office in a Dangriga, I want to know. I would like to know. I am demanding a statement. Why should I apologize to Robert Mariano? He was once the president of NGC. Today, we're not careful how we pick our leaders, how we select our leaders. The National Garifuna Council hold conventions ever so often, I think every 2 years, I believe. Every 2 years, they hold convention. The way how they choose the members for the national body, the national executive, it's just few members that can vote. I think that needs to be revisited and restructured as to how NGC voting their president, how they voting their national vice president, how they voting their treasurer, how they voting their secretary, how they voting anybody. If you are representing Garifuna people, you must listen to the voice or the voices of Garifuna people. And I am saying to you, executive members of NGC, do you approve of this? I would like a public statement from NGC, from the National Garifuna Council, a public statement telling the people of Danriga, telling the Garifuna people here in Danriga, if this is part of Garifuna culture. This was shared as Garifuna culture. On may I rate this up? So, do you agree that that is part of Garifuna culture? Alex Norberto, do you agree? This is public information now. Now, I have an updated video for you guys. I am addressing all of you. I am addressing all of you. I am addressing all the members, the executive members of the National Garifuna Council. You have some cancerous characters in your midst. Some of your members are cancerous. Some of your members are cancerous. Members of the National Garifuna Council. It is known, most of our people here in Dangriga believe that NGC is just another political group for the PUP. Most of our people believe that NGC is just another group to push PUP agenda for Garifuna people. Please know, the only reason I am bringing this up, because you want to play blind. You want to behave as if though you don't see and you don't hear. So, I am demanding a public response. I want to know your position, NGC's position. I want to know if NGC call this Garifuna culture, if we don't agree with what Robert Mariano is doing. disgracing himself on stage. You know what I know about the mayor? It seems like the mayor will do anything for win one another term. I don't know what that the PUP plans for Robert Mariano. I don't know what is Mariano's plans for Dangriga. But I can say this. We received word that Martha Robinson wanted to run up for mayor. We received word that Howard Melendres wanted to run up for mayor. We received word there was another individual who wanted to run up for mayor. What happened? Why these individuals? Is it because that the PUP decided? Is it because that you see? I want to drive this home as clear as possible. We have meetings behind closed doors. We're not concerned Dangriga people. They have a lot of planning where they happen behind closed doors without consulting the people of Dangriga. The last time I met Mayor Mariano, he assured me that this would have been ready by July. He didn't tell me the first phase. He not said the first phase may be ready by July. He said the multi-purpose park would be ready by July. I hope that you realize that a hotel is on this property right here. A hotel is on this land. You guys know that a hotel is on this land. The last time I talked with Mayor Mariano, he said that this development would have been ready by July. We're in July. And you know why I noticed? If they don't have the money for the development, if they already have the money for the multi-purpose park, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? But you know what I think they're doing? They know municipal election is ahead. Here's what's going to happen. They soon get ready to cut ribbons. They soon get ready to cut their ribbon and unveil is the word. Unveil the long awaiting multi-purpose park close to elections. Close to elections. How many people on the city work out there if they don't have the money? They don't have the money for the multi-purpose park. They have the money for the multi-purpose park. How many people on the city work out there, so? How many people? This multi-purpose park supposed to have a hotel. Who own the hotel? who own the hotel. In this multi-purpose park, the tongue pier is part of it. It appears to be. Right there, so check it out. Boom. Beautiful tongue pier where nice boat could dock and all that. This is what they're showing us. So, is this just a fancy module? Just a fancy imagination as to what you have in our mind? That you just want to sell Dangriga people? Or is this really happening? The last time I met with Mayor Robert Mariano, he said to me that this would be ready in July. We're in July. We're almost in the middle of July. He didn't say the first phase will be ready in July. So, another thing, we see that they're making progress. Why is it taking so long? How many workers we have out there? How many workers that for Dangriga? Do they advertise the need for workers? I want to know. I would like to know. How many workers? And also, I hope that Dangriga people realize that tourism not going to Dangriga anytime soon because they're not planned for it, they're not prepared for it. They are telling us that this multi-purpose park, yeah, it will bring in, it will give some jobs. What hotel were they out there too? We don't know who will own the hotel. It might bring in jobs as well, or yeah, bring in jobs. But we don't want just the jobs that our young women have to go spreadsheet and clean people mess. We're grateful for their jobs too. But we want some real jobs where our young brothers and sisters will come out at sixth farm, where they have their degree, their bachelor's degree, their master's degree, and they're ready to come home and help make Dangriga better. We don't want just the jobs where we are spreadsheet and clean people mess. That's fine. That's an honorable occupation as well. But that is not all Dangriga people is good for. We like good things too. So, if tourism coming to Belize, to Dangriga, I mean, if tourism is coming to Dangriga, are we prepared? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? I want to go to Ms. Joyce's comment here. Uruwei, let me express my disclaimer. Mayor Mariano is my family who I respected. Mayor Mariano is my family who I respected, but I was also raised to speak up against anything or anyone when anything reflects our community. We want to make us we want to make a salad with the mess that affects our culture. Punta dance is a cultural dance which depicts grace, honorable and gentle courtship between, I can't see the rest, but I'm assuming it's between male and female. You know, Miss Joyce, I thank you for this because I want to share something about Punta dance, at least when my ma teach me. Some of you are my elders and you know better. You know more than I do. But what I learned about Punta dance, it's a seductive dance, but very respectful. I remember women around my mother age, and even younger than my mother, when I see them dance punta, as a matter of fact, somebody sent me a video of our very own mayor dancing punta very gracefully. I gotta, let me try to find that video. But to what Miss Joyce said, yes, it's a seductive dance, but it's honorable. I could remember when seeing our parents dance. They have this way, when they dance and they dance their way into the man, right? They keep dancing into the man. And as soon as they're close enough for buck for the man, they do a little dip there where they push back and they gone pan it again and do a little something. Very, very they tease the man, right? Very respectful, seductive, but within reason. I have never ever seen any one of my elders dance like this and call it Garifuna culture. What I know, the man like try to things for popularity. The thing is about me and Mariano, you want to please everybody, brethren. You can't. You want to please everybody, so you have to be dishonest. You can't be honest with everybody. Because you want to satisfy everyone. You want to satisfy everyone. Vincent Garvey, yes, I agree that has become a big part of Garifuna culture. Too bad I can't see I got to expand this in some way, shape, or form. Let's see. This application is not allowing me to. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. My question is, what is Garifuna leaders going to do to lead our youth in another direction? You know, Vincent, we could talk all we want. We could talk until our nose get blue, but I tell you something. When it comes to the municipal elections, some of our brothers have said to me, very seasoned in politics, Dangrigana, they say, Uruwei, you want to go for the mayor, run for mayor, go there, take it. I don't want it. You know why? You know why they said they don't want it? Latrice, you look great. Thank you, Latrice. Thank you, my dear sister. You know why they don't want it? Do you know why they don't want it? Because they have a lot to deal with in that town council there. They have a lot to clean up. A lot of cleaning up need to take place. And you know what happened? You know what voting? If boy, watch out. Dangrika were putting Mariano in there and they were got enough time to cover up a whole lot of mess again. Normally they carry them a court right now. Whosoever take over from Mariano will have a lot of cleaning up to do. I requested the financial statement for the month of whenever I'm asked for it. It take whole almost over 2 months, almost 3 months to get a copy of the financial statement. When that's something that should be readily available, they should be able to give you that almost immediately. Why did it take so long to get a copy of the financial statement? Another thing, The town council happen to have a PR person. For island that don't have a PR person. The PR person, why you never advise me and Mariano about this? Why you not put out some type of release as to your sentiment regarding this type of behavior? Why? That way PR, public relations people do, as far as I know. But I don't want Uruwei apologize to Mayor Mariano for his indecent behavior in public. My brother, you owe Dangriga an apology. You owe the decent people of Dangriga an apology. I know I spend a lot of time on you, but I will call out this type of behavior and anything where they affect us in Dangriga, when team right, I will call it out. I will say again to the executive members of the National Garifuna Council, NGC, you have some cancerous characters in your midst. Now, one of your members, Maurice Herrera, has already expressed how he feels about this indecent act. I'm calling it an indecent act. Some of you know it is indecent. Your fellow member, and I want all of you to know, I have no interest in calling out Maurice as an individual, as a private individual. I am calling out the brother as one who holds a position in the higher echelon of leadership in the National Garifuna Council. You are answerable to me as a Garifuna, whether I pay dues or not. And that's the reason why I hesitate as well. Because there's a lot of politics in NGC. So I don't want none of you to come back to me and ask me if I pay my dues. No, I'm not a paying member of NGC. But whether Garifuna pay dues or not, you are responsible for every Garifuna in Dangriga, in Belize, whether they pay dues or not. One of your executive members has made it clear that they even coin the dug up smear upstairs. This is what this man they say, part of executive. And I am calling the executive members of NGC, Alex Norberto, Ifashna, if you near me. I am calling Marsha Mejia. I am calling Rafael Martinez. I am calling the other sister. What's her name? Where is my... All of you. I want to know where you stand. The executive members, the treasurer, the secretary, the president, the vice president, second vice. I would like to know, where do you stand in all of this? Do you look at the mayor's behavior as Garifuna, Anita Barrett, Dr. Anita, Jude Garden, Sherry Garden, I guess that is the same person, Alex Norberto, Maurice Herrera, Marsha Mejia, Rafael Martinez. How do you feel about Dangriga's mayor performance on stage, in public? How do you feel? Do you approve this? Do you approve this type of behavior by Robert Mariano, former president of NGC? You claim to be our leaders. So, lead. One of your members Your treasurer, I believe he's the treasurer or second, one of them, he holds a position in the executive body. He went on air publicly. I will be back. Now, there is a situation happening in NGC. I know I give you no details right now. Two of you have been exonerated. I have details. I want to know more about this too. And I am being very vague at the moment. You will receive an official email from me no later than tomorrow midday. I expect a response from you no later than at least 48 hours. A member of your executive acting puerile, championing this type of behavior under the guise of Garifuna culture. Is this how NGC really feels? Is this what NGC believes is part of Garifuna culture? Because our youths are watching. I want to applaud Game and Gimme, Sylvain Flores. I'm sorry, not Flores. Sylvain James Lovell, Miss Eleanor, Miss Rosita, Miss Castillo, Mr. and Mrs. Castillo. Those children are the future. And our mayor is on stage behaving the way he is, and none of you want to call it out. Your silence is too loud. And what your silence is doing, it is saying to all of us here in Danriga, that is okay. Remember, this was shared on one of those media outlets. Now, up to today, that post has close to maybe 700, the last time I checked, 700 likes, love, whatever, reaction. Get the gist of this. Listen carefully. Digital marketing is what I do. I understand it. I want to show you something right now. So you know and not just the BS. The post that caught Mayor or that shared him doing his punta thing on Belize Now. That was the page I got it from, Belize Now. It went viral. I can assure you. That video went viral. It had a whole lot more likes than a post that I shared. I'm going to explain the reason why I'm comparing the amount of likes each post got, so you could get the gist. Let me show you a statistic of one of my posts and the views that it got. I am not sharing this with you to boast or brag, but I am sharing this with you so you know the impact of social media, the impact of our actions when these things happen. I want to show you something here. Let me go to I want to show you guys something here. This is so important. Bear with me a bit here. Now, Where is the post? I'm almost there. Almost there. I want to show you guys the impact. This post right here, I'll show you. This post, I'll show it live. So you all know I am not this post right here. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. This post right here. This post currently, the reaction it has 592 reactions. Either like, laugh, love, whatever. Okay? This is only showing you the reaction. It's only showing you the reaction here, 592. The amount of comments, 241. The amount of shares, 52. It is not showing you the number of people that side. Let me show you. Let's go into some insights here. Now, take a look at this. I want to show you guys some insights. Look at this right here. The total right here, how much does it say? Let me maximize this. Let me increase this. Make it bigger. You see the number right here, so? Right here, so? You see how much that? 1,000. I'm sorry, 123,239. 123,239 people viewed. Now, this, as mentioned, this is nothing compared to the actual video, the original video from this post. And this is because so far, this post has over 123,000 views, people who viewed it in less than 48 hours. What is my point? What is my point? Imagine how many people are being influenced by this action. That who we the fool? Who are we fooling? I know the man like attention. The man want to appear relevant. It is okay to try to appear relevant and be likable. The politics. But don't do it at the expense of your people, of your culture. Don't do it at the expense of Garifuna people. Garifuna people broken, traumatized, whether I know it or not, whether I like it or not. We have serious issues among ourselves. I have sought advice from some of my elders. I have sought advice from seasoned people in politics. I had a conversation with a very intelligent person not too long ago who have a great deal of experience. This individual doesn't live among us. But this person said to me, Cyril, man, the Garifuna people will be the one where we'll bury you. Is that who we are? Is that true? I am appealing to NGC, to the National Garifuna Council. This is not a calling out. This is not me being a loud mouth. This is me holding you accountable. One of your very own has blundered. One of your very own member of your executive body is making us look bad as Garinagu. And I want to know if the rhetoric, if the sentiments that this brother is sharing is the same way you feel. If this is coming from NGC, and also know that the platform that this brother is using to disseminate such information is also under the banner of Garifuna. So I am demanding a response. I would like a response. Friends, family, there is an organization in the Illinois area in the United States. This organization is called UBNI, United Belizeans of Northern Illinois. They host an event every year. This year is their 15th annual scholarship gala. It's taking place on August 8th. This is one of the nice events where you could dress up, look nice, vibe with some intelligent people, rub shoulders, network. You know, I want to encourage those of you who can attend, support the initiative. And also, for those of you who can contribute, donate to helping this organization support other individuals to go to school, higher learning. This has been 2 hours of Cyril Uruwei Unmuted. I spoke about the UDP, the protest. I talked about the division in the UDP. I talked about the power-hungry mentality of some of the UDP members. What I observed, that some of you cannot wait till the UDP get in a power again for making us start eat again, making us start eat better and good. I see that type of, that mentality, that behavior. And that is wrong. That is the reason why we are where we are. We have to show something different. We have to show Belize that we are better than UDP. We are better than PUP. We are upstanding citizens. We are decent citizens. We love this country. We love our town. I love my town, Dangriga. Dangriga Nagria Hoa. Yaba Norway. This is where I was born. This is where I hope to die. I talked about my sentiment on Mayor Robert Mariano. Some of you are telling me, encouraging me to apologize for the brother. For what? Because he's a Garifuna and I am a Garifuna, and a Garifuna is not supposed to talk about another Garifuna or call out another Garifuna, especially when he's doing wrong. No, I will not do that, not anymore. I have sat with most of these individuals behind closed doors in office. I know their ways. They won't behave. They won't stop. They won't be honest. That public pressure, only public pressure will get them to do what is right. And my video, I'm releasing another video that I've already recorded. My message to NGC and the Garifuna community. My message to NGC and the Garifuna community. My message to the executive branch of NGC, those of you who are responsible, who claim to be leading the Garifuna people. I want to know how you feel about Mayor Mariano's behavior on stage while it was at an event promoted for the youths. I just learned that. That event was promoted for the youths. For the youths. And that's the type of behavior that the mayor will put off. What if the mayor at that time was a woman? You think Sylvia Flores would encourage something like that, the late Sylvia Flores? You think the late Mr. Joseph would have encouraged something like that? I could have never imagined. What is wrong with you, brother? Will you do anything to win an election? Is that it? Are you far gone? Have you become their puppet? Family and friends, my name is Cyril Uruwei. I believe in justice. I believe that we should have fair representation. Jerry Enriquez fighting for redistricting. The Prime Minister has lied to us time and time again. Lie about redistricting. Jerry Enriquez, using the Freedom of Information Act, requested information, wanted to know how much the government of Belize is spending to take Jerry to court. Why? Going to court, in and out of court, just to defend, just to fight against redistricting, where it be good for the Belizean people. But yet, that the we money that they spend, they're not out of their own pocket. Stop allowing these politicians to come and get half of this and half of that and tell you what they do. They're supposed to do it and more. I hope that you took something beneficial from today's live, from this evening live. I will be back again. I have a video that I will be releasing this week. My video to the Garifuna community and to NGC, the executive branch. We have work to do. We need to be held accountable, all of us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, everyone. Stay safe. To those of you affected by the flood, please pay attention, stay in tune with the weather. We have to make sure that the government do what is right. we got to keep them accountable. Do your part. Stop this PUP thing. We're all for that. We're too old for that. Our children, they suffer. And lastly, before I leave, remember, our situation not just start. Cost of living not just get high like that. You're picking not just to try hang out with gangbangers and want to pick up guns. They don't lose interest in a school overnight. With medical system, roads, drain, parks, Dangriga could be better. Stop make the sell with dreams. Stop make the just dangle wali carrot front our nose and make we be satisfied with it. Make we demand change. Brothers and sisters, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every support. I appreciate all your messages, the texts, the comments. I appreciate all of you. And I hope that you guys will keep showing up. Show your faces, show your hands, say how you feel. It can't be only Cyril Uruwei. I'll see you guys again in another live. I'll pop up out of nowhere, but until then, Dangriga Unmuted doesn't change. Every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. This Wednesday, I have Dr. Philip Castillo joining me. We're going to talk about unemployment in Dangriga. Why are our youths unemployed, and opportunities that we could capitalize on to get more of our youth employed. So stay connected. I will remain live for a bit, just for a couple minutes. If anything I miss that might be important, I will come back on again. But stay connected, brothers and sisters, friends, family. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Let your conscience be your guide.
The People's Campaign. And if you're not serious about change, I suggest you stay out of the way and give Cyril Uruwei Garcia. Make we give her this chance. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every. The People's Campaign. And if you're not serious about change, I suggest you stay out of the way and give Cyril Uruwei Garcia. Make we give her this chance. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every day. We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he no come to play. We need our Kriga back. Uruwei na fire. He's a proven leader. Uruwei na fire. A fearless advocate. Uruwei na fire. Son of soil from Kriga. Uruwei na fire. Ready to fight for his people. We want this change, we need this change, we need that change right now. We need our country back from the PUP and the UDP. We need our country back. Things are getting harder and harder every.
Tonight in Dangriga, a wave of voter dissatisfaction is hitting local and national leaders alike. Mayor Robert Mariano, ERA Representative Dr. Louis Zabane, and even Prime Minister John Briceño. A new survey by pollster and retired assistant professor Dr. Philip Castillo shows support for Dr. Zabane has plunged dramatically. Remember, he won big in 2020 with 61% of the vote, and his popularity soared even higher in 2025 when he secured 76.5%. But Dr. Castillo's latest polling tells a very different story, one that suggests confidence in these leaders is slipping fast.
He's underwater because I think he's at 41%, which means that more at 41%, 4 out of every 10 voters do not approve of the job that he's doing. Now, again, we did not ask them why, but some voters, some citizens did provide an opinion. And then the opinion would be that in terms of accessing the area rep, that there seem to be challenges in accessing him, basically, in meeting him and those and that specific issue.
A closer look at the numbers shows Dr. Zabani lost support in Dangriga Town and Saraway, but he's still strong in outlying villages like Hope Creek. Responding to the poll, Dr. Zabani says he welcomes Dr. Castillo's work, but argues that data collected closer to election time gives a truer read on how voters will actually decide.
First of all, the size of the poll is relatively small, but still helpful. So I'm not knocking it in that sense. I'm just saying that if you look at the last polls that he has done, you could go back and check them out. They have been consistently lower than the actual performance. So in my view, I don't believe that the numbers are that low. But even if they were, it is good to know so that you can take action.
One of the things that people were saying is that you're hard to access.
Yes, and that's the one that seems farthest from the truth. I am one of the very consistent area representatives that have office hours. So on Thursdays, like for example tomorrow, I have my office. I am at the office. I have an office that is open from Monday to Friday, so persons can go, and they do go in. So besides the office hours on the Thursdays, I also visit on Saturdays because we have Dangriga, Saraway, and Hope Creek.
Voters were also asked how they feel about the job Dangriga Mayor Mariano is doing. He first won the mayoral seat with 51% of the vote in 2021 and boosted his support to 63% in 2024. But today his approval shows a slight dip from where he started back in 2021.
He faces election next year, 2027. So what the poll found this year is that he's back around, I think it's 48.9% or just about 50%. So he's in that range. But then a poll has something called a margin of error, meaning that the 48% could be as high as 48 plus 6, because I think the margin of error was 6.8%, or 48 minus 6. And then again, if you look carefully at the numbers, 17% did not have an opinion. They said not sure or they're uncertain.
Voters also pointed to some persistent concerns in the municipality. They want better streets, improved garbage collection, and real action on unemployment, which many say remain a consistent challenge. When we reached out to Mayor Mariano for a response, he told us, quote, "I am appreciative of Dr. Philip Castillo, and although the next town council elections are a little over a year away, and notwithstanding a lot of change within that time, I am humbled by the favorable poll survey and results at this point in time. We are grateful for the public opinion and will do whatever we can to address their concerns." But the most striking number in this poll is the Prime Minister's approval rating in Dangriga. When voters were asked whether they approve of the job Prime Minister John Briceño is doing, just over half said they do not.
I think it's only 20%. That's 1 in every 5 voters approve of the job that the Prime Minister is doing as Prime Minister. A similar percentage are not sure, but a substantially larger percentage say that they do not approve of the job that he's doing at this point in time.
Is that, based on your observation, a decrease in his approval ratings in Dangriga?
No, I can't answer that question because to the best of my knowledge, this is the first ever poll being done of the approval rating of the Prime Minister. So there is no comparable data.
For the Prime Minister, though, this poll may not move the needle. His political fate ultimately rests with voters in Orange Walk Central, the constituency that decides his future at the ballot box. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez. Tonight in
It's very important to point out that as a government, we the cabinet, we don't control that exercise. It is done independently by the Judy Elections and Boundaries Commission. But it is an important exercise because we need to try to keep as best as we possibly can the one vote that count. A vote in Fort George supposed to count as much as a vote in Orange Rock Central, or in Belize Rural South, or in Belmopan. And that is why the redistricting will be able to try to change the boundaries and to be able to, for most constituencies to be close to equal. There's usually I think about a 10% plus or minus that you.
Over the years, we have tried and pressed the Prime Minister many times, but we've been noticing a consistent pattern in his responses.
I was unaware of what was happening. No, I'm not aware of it. I just heard about it.
And that is that he never seems to know what's happening.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. That has not been brought up to my attention. I wasn't even aware. I had absolutely no idea. I was not aware of it. I have absolutely no idea about what you're talking about. And I'm hearing this for the first time. I had no knowledge of it, and that has been said by everyone. I was not aware that Guatemala was
Breaking news from Melchor.
No, I don't know anything about it. I have no idea what you're talking about, Polo. That has not come to my attention. And I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. Well, that has just been brought to my attention. That was just brought up to my attention yesterday. But the definitive agreement, and I have not seen it. Obviously, it is going to be binding. No, I was not aware, and those things don't come to me.
Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of it. Nothing has come to me at this point. I wasn't even aware. It's already up for action. Had I known, I'd have probably given advice. Well, obviously, that just came to light to us. I had no idea of this going on. I was unaware that he was arrested. I've not heard about that. I didn't even know that. I found it just like you when it became public. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, more than what you have in the news. I've never met this gentleman. I've never spoken to him. I'm not aware of that that 2004 agreement. I certainly was unaware of that.
And while the PM often doesn't know what's happening in his own government, he knows where to look for answers. That's usually Channel 7.
You're giving me news. I have no idea what you're talking about. I just, somebody sent me a region. That's you. I was like floored. You're giving me news. I'm not aware of it. I don't know. You're giving me news. Well, I know nothing about the letter. I just read about it this morning on the news.
Over the years, we have tried.
This type of corruption and stealing that happened under 13 years of UDP administration is going to stop is that when you hold the people that plunder the treasury and rob from the Belizean people, that we hold them accountable and they have to go to a court of law. And it is important to do that because then I can tell my colleagues also, see what happened to that one? If you don't walk on a straight line, you are going to end up like that. That is why we want to do that, Mr. Leader of the Opposition. It's not personal, but this is the only way we're going to stop the stealing and the plundering of the Belizean people money. The only way this...
How does it strike you when you see close to $6 million to the company of the family members of a sitting minister within the span of 2 years?
Well, of course, it takes a question, but what is important, let's not get carried away by the number, but let's look at ensuring that there is value for money, and that I think to me is even more important than the appearances. And so let's wait till we get the report.
Would you define this as nepotism?
Well, when he came to see me this morning, Mr. Mayor said that he was not involved in any way with any of these issues. And so it's easy to cast aspersions, it's easy to point fingers, but when he is telling me that he was not in any way involved, then I think it's difficult to be able to say that he was the one behind it, and because he wanted his family to get these contracts.
How does it strike you when you see close to $6 million to the company of the family members of a sitting minister within the span of 2 years?
It is obvious that something wrong is going on in the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation, and before that in the Ministry of Works.
where Boots Martinez was the minister. The Prime Minister needs to take decisive action, and he needs to take decisive action now. He promised this country that he was going to end the corruption. And here now we have one of his ministers implicated either directly or indirectly in many of these scams that are happening under his the ministries that he controls. I think the Prime Minister needs to fire Boots Martinez from the cabinet now, and secondly, have a thorough and complete investigation and audit in all the ministries that Boots Martinez have been in charge since 2008. And that report should be tabled to the House, and a copy should be given to the police for them to do any investigations, and if there are any criminal activities that took place, then the Ministry of Poverty and Alleviation. And before that in the Ministry of Works, where Boots Martinez was the minister. The Prime Minister needs to take decisive action, and he needs to take decisive action now. He promised this country that he was going to end the corruption. And here now we have one of his ministers implicated either directly or indirectly in many of these scams that are happening under his
the
ministries that he controls. I think the Prime Minister needs to fire Boots Martinez from the and he needs to
the pot they call the fine pan black. You know how this man they say? He need, at the time it was Boots Martinez. Now he suggests that the Prime Minister should have fire Boots Martinez immediately. What about Oscar Mira?
He promised this country that he was going to end the corruption. And here now we have one of his ministers implicated either directly or indirectly in many of these scams that are happening under his the ministries that he controls. I think the Prime Minister needs to fire Boots Martinez from the cabinet now, and secondly, have a
the Prime Minister need to fire Boots Martinez from the cabinet now. You hear what the man say? The corruption. You see, when you're not in there, it's easy to talk. When you're not in there, it's easy to talk. Fire Boots Martinez from the cabinet now.
Take decisive action now. He promised this country that he was going to end the corruption. And here now we have one of his ministers implicated either directly or indirectly.
The chicken come home to roost. That the same thing they done now in the PUP and worse. That like what Jules say. They're not for big up the UDP. But the UDP have a diploma a diploma in corruption, in stealing from the people's purse. The PUP have PhD. And he didn't want to try use the line there because I could care less about the UDP or PUP. I just want good for Belize.
In many of these scams that are happening under his the ministries that he controls. I think the Prime Minister needs to fire Boots Martinez from the cabinet now, and secondly, have a thorough and complete investigation and audit in all the ministries that Boots Martinez have been in charge since 2008. And that report should be tabled to the House, and a copy should be given to the police for them to do any investigations, and if there are any criminal activities that took place, then the people that perpetrated these crimes must be held responsible.
That's what a man's supposed to do right now.
$2.3 million, $389,795.85, $152,280,975,000, $103,000, $3.283 million, $214,000. That's how much the government paid the Mira family-owned MP farms for fresh produce and groceries between September 2024 and June 2026. A new tranche of 53 screenshots of the smart stream system captures 627 invoice payouts to Mount Pleasant Farms, where Brian Mira is the contact and Stanley Mira is said to be the owner. And there's one more tell of suspect business at the Ministry of Defense. When MP Farms began to supply groceries to the Prime Minister's office in 2025 and 2026, they didn't keep all payments under $10,000. The invoices suddenly crossed the $10,000 mark. And why is that? Because that office is also the Ministry of Finance. You can't look like you're trying to duck the government's financial watchdog when you're sending the bills straight to the watchdog's desk.
How can you have the police investigate their own boss? The Prime Minister is taking us for a mockery, for fools. And I think people have had enough.
Things hard in Belize. It's hard for them, it's hard for me, it's hard for everybody.
They didn't keep all payments under $10,000. The invoices.
You see how easy it is to talk when you're not in power, when you're hungry for the power. And that's why I hope now that Tracy are the one where they fight, I hope that we get a leader where we care for this country, where I do the right thing, do right by the people. As them boga get in a feast time, a time to eat. Let's eat, bon appetit. I hope it not be the same. I don't know, man. We need some serious people. We need some serious leaders.
They didn't keep all payments under $10,000. The invoices suddenly crossed the $10,000 mark.
Folks,
and why is that? Because that office is also the Ministry of Finance. You can't look like you're trying to duck the government's financial watchdog when you're sending the bills straight to the watchdog's desk.
How can you have the police investigate their own boss?
We need our country back. Cyril Uruwei, he no come to play. We need our Krieger back. Uruwei Rafi we set an example for all the youths. Uruwei Rafi we beginning of golden age. Uruwei Rafi we true representative.